Hello everyone. It's been a while since I have used my text-to-speech voice in a video, but I have to address something important about the Fictional Googology community, and that is the problem with Fictional Googology scales. I didn't really want to have to make an entire video essay about this, but this year, there has been many arguments over placements in fictional numbers. Take this for example. A person claims that the end of numbers is bigger than Aripiprazole setplex, which is the final number for Windows's Ultimate World, Part 26. Another person claims that Aripiprazole setplex is actually bigger because its creator said so. Then the person who made the first claim tries to prove the other wrong because someone will already surpass it before the end of numbers. And it can easily escalate to an argument, or even a drama. One of the earliest incidents like this is when final end numbers attempted to prevent others from surpassing his numbers by descaling numbers from other users, and this especially goes to Biley. It is now defined as the limit of the TSA function. However, Part 2 of Biley already looked like it reached the limit, so it is unknown how much larger the full Biley actually is. But do we really need to make an argument about this? Back then, in 2022, you could surpass other users' numbers, and nobody would even care. Nowadays, instead of celebrating record holders, people will say something like, "That's it, I will descale your number and surpass it in my next video." Like, seriously? Many fictional Googologists are spending days, or even months of effort, to make fictional Googology videos ending at a new record to take, only for people to make a descaling controversy about it. There may be only few people who do this, but still, this is ridiculous. WTIF 2024, also known as Stella, attempted to make the Fixing FG project, where users would come up with solutions to make fictional Googology better, and one of them was the Universal Fictional Googology Scale, which was intended to unify all scales of FG. By that, I mean make a compromise for the scales of numbers from as many users as possible. I really want to see the spreadsheet for these scales. However, it has not been finished yet, and to be honest, I don't even know if it will be finished and/or solve the problem entirely. Even if it were to be finished with just numbers from several important series, some people will still surpass their own different scales of numbers and get controversy about it. In that case, I have 3 ways that we can stop the scaling controversy. So, listen closely. Number 1. Try making a compromised scale when absolutely necessary. There is a term for scale contradictions that is called Schrodinger's scale. For example, Freddy Fazbear 2024 stated that his number, the back numbers, is greater than Stella's number, Ultimus Worldius, while Stella stated that is bigger. Later on, Freddy Fazbear made a compromise that Ultimus Worldius is equivalent to Premiumized 0. But what about Aripiprazole setplex and the end of numbers? Well, Freddy Fazbear stated that the end of numbers is equivalent to absolute uperdinal. That is, the version-independent uperdinal. And he is going to surpass Aripiprazole setplex before that. But Stella already surpassed transcendental numbers in his Part 25, which is already larger than absolute uperdinal, so there really doesn't seem to be a way to compromise this. Freddy Fazbear has also made his own scales of numbers that are originally larger than absolute uperdinal and surpassed them before the end of numbers. This leads to another way. Number 2. Accept other scales and move on. If you think about it, any number can have unlimited types of scales. Also, there is no real scale for fictional numbers, no matter how many fictional numbers have official scales. After all, fictional Googology isn't real. Just because someone surpassed your number doesn't mean you should tell them that their numbers are descaled, even if they really aren't in their official scale. Like how there is no largest finite number, there will never be a fictional number that stays the largest forever, and that's okay. Fictional Googology is not about how long you can have the record for the largest number, or even competing for the largest number in the first place. It's about being creative and expanding numbers beyond the limits. Instead of complaining about our numbers being surpassed, we should celebrate that people have reached a new milestone, even if it isn't a record holder. Number 3. Use different user scales to show which scale you are using. I don't really think anyone else has thought of this as a solution before I did, but if it is too hard to make a compromised scale for a specific number, you could add something like Metro's scale, within parentheses, to show whose scale of the number you are using. In some cases, someone besides the creator of a number has set a more agreed upon scale of the creator's number. Make sure you are using the right scale and you know who originally made the scale. Also, if you want to make a scale of a number that you think would set a compromise, make sure if anyone else has already made that scale first, before you claim it as yours. But I do not recommend you add something like descaled to a number name. Not only do I believe that term is a bit overused, but it also causes controversy, and we wouldn't even know whose scale of the number that would be. I also do not recommend you surpass numbers or scales of them in your path when their creator has not reached them yet. Trying to surpass everyone's scales of numbers isn't gonna work, because it's impossible to literally do so. Yes, numbers are meant to be surpassed, but they should not be surpassed too quickly. Otherwise, it would become a bit too boring to set new FG records. And that's all for my advice on how to solve the problem with fictional Googology scales. We need to make sure that the FG scales are justified. If people keep on descaling each other's numbers, including their scales, then Stella might have to cancel Windows's Ultimate World, and we would be getting nowhere in FG. I really don't want that to happen. Honestly, Windows's Ultimate World is one of the best series I have ever seen, and to put effort on such a series and get nothing but controversy about your numbers right after is really disappointing. But with the solutions I mentioned, we can still fix this. If you want, like this video and share it with others in a community post, so that we can spread this message to as many fictional Googologists as possible. Thank you for watching. This is Metro, signing off.